Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the first ever ballroom alternates that are going to be released. This will feature Seiun Sky, Fuji Kiseki, and also two SSR cards which are also ballroom themed, is the Symboli Rudolf Stamina and also the Sirius Symboli Wit. We'll start off with Ballroom Seiun Sky. Her aptitudes are C Mile, A Medium and A Long. This makes her viable for Ment with just a few mile sparks, and her bonuses are Speed and Power of 8% and also a 14% in the Guts department. She's designed to be a frontrunner, and her unique is very similar to Kita-san Black's in that it's really strong on certain long tracks and sometimes usable in mediums. You will find that while angling and scheming is used a ton whenever the corner is correct, the Ballroom Seiyun's unique tends to work where the OG Seiyun's does not, because it is a straight line unique. This tends to be more on the longer CMs, since those are the times where the final corner is rarely going to be at a good spot for it, right? Or I guess the third corner, right? She will be another relevant unique to hunt down for when the angling and scheming is not available. Her unique is Break It Down. This works on the straight line and gives speed plus excel. So because it's a hybridized unique, it will give you 0.1 excel when you inherit it. But the thing about the front runners on the long CMs is that sometimes you just don't have any other things to use. So if you just want to go and inherit this for that 0.1 excel, then it's going to be very, very helpful to give you that additional acceleration, right? Because for the long CMs in particular, while they are able to sometimes use angling, very rarely they will most of the time be using straight line uniques. So this is one of those options for them, right? One of her weaknesses, unfortunately, for this Ballroom Seiyun, if you want to use her as an ace, is that she does not have any innate recoveries as a long horse, meaning that stamina requirements can be quite challenging for her, right? Very similar to Kita-san Black, they both don't have any stamina recoveries, but at least Ballroom Seiyun has the advantage of you can use Kita-san Black's card with her, so that's +1 Professor of Curvature, but also Seiyun does not have any stamina bonus, so it's also a challenge in a different way compared to Kita-san Black for making them for long CMs. You already know how painful it is to make for long CMs, so you should know that making a Ballroom Seiun Sky with also no innate recoveries without any stamina bonus is going to be very, very challenging sometimes. Not impossible, but definitely something to be a bit afraid of when you want to consider pulling this horse here. But in exchange for that difficulty of making her, she is incredibly powerful. She has Escape Artist, which is more mid-leg, she has Early Lead, which is very important early excel, and she has Top Runner, which is the gold version of Leader's Pride. This gives you early or mid-leg speed skill, and this skill is notably also found on the future S-Maru speed card, which all frontrunner mains need to go and pull when it comes out, right? In addition to these innate skills, she's a costume character also. Costume characters tend to get some ridiculous buffs to them. If you have ever seen the modern day Valentine Taiki Shuttle, you know how ridiculous it is. This Ballroom Seiyun is also a costume character, which means she gets a humongous amount of bonuses. She gets a possible +1 costume event for Fast Learner, just like that. So you have 2 odds of getting Fast Learner, one from a costume event and one from your regular Fast Learner event, right? So that's similar to Mayana Top Gun, for example, right? She also has a special events that will give her skills like Front Runner Straightaways, right-handed, for free. Like you just read the Game Tora list and just scroll down, you just see costume events and you see certain events just are always going to give you certain skills, right? So that's why if you look at her list of possible skills, it will just be quite big compared to a lot of other people, right? These additional skills are very valuable as we start entering the skills-focused future of Umamusume. Next, we have Ballroom Fuji Kiseki. She comes with a very ideal growth of Speed 8%, Wit 8%, and Power 14%. This horse also comes with the aptitude of Babe, B-A-B-E, for her short, mild, medium, and long, which is a very appropriate aptitude for such a beautiful horse. Her aptitudes make her very suitable for sprints, mild, and medium, and no question can be used for Ment. This horse is a pace chaser, very similar to her OG version. The difference between her and her OG version is the fact that this one activates on a final corner overtake, and their go skills are vastly different, right? One has Tantalizing and the other one has Race Planner, so it's a very, very different case of having 2 different skills. And her unique is Ravissant, which will activate if you are in the first 4 positions and have overtaken an opponent, and you must be on the final corner. That's the difference, right? Ravissant is final corner, while Fuji's Lights of Vaudeville is straight line. So on certain tracks, you can actually get this skill to give you a potential speed carryover. A 0.45 speed carryover, by the way, is very, very big, so it's going to be very, very strong. And on certain tracks where the final corner is all the way at the back, then whatever, it's just a finishing speed skill, very similar to the original Fuji Kiseki, right? For her innate skills, she comes with Shrewd Step, an acceleration skill that activates when you proc a lane movement. It's not the best acceleration skill, so it's not really that important. Tantalizing Trick is a gold debuff skill for horses that got rushed and are behind you. Take note, they must be rushed. If they're not rushed, this will not work. So this skill is kind of useless a lot of times. The go-to acceleration skill for Page Sisters is Head On, and she does come with it. And she also has Speed Star, which is another final corner speed skill. So just like that, you should understand that this horse is really a final corner focused horse. This horse is designed for tracks where the final corner gives her a very big opportunity to speed carry over with Speed Star and her unique for very, very big speed carryovers. If the track does not allow for that opportunity, then the Speed Star is also not going to be very awesome. It might most of the time either be completely worthless or gives you like a little bit of finishing speed similar to her unique. However, because of this, still very, very flexible to build, very easy to build. Her bonuses are very good. Speed bonus, power bonus, wit bonus, you will get those stats very, very easily, right? Then the hard part will be finding the relevant accelerations for her, right? So when you compare the OG version and this version of her, it's really more of a side grade to each other. Some will be better on this track, some will be better on this track. It really just depends on whether you want to get finishing speed for that track, whether you can possibly get a speed carry over for that track, whether it doesn't matter at all, then it's just both even, then it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, so it's just a case of whatever the track says is better, then you just go and follow that track in particular, right? So this Fuji is just another very versatile horse with very good growths. The skills will be the problem, so you just have to go and find it. Right? She's also a costume character, so she does have some costume events, but they're not as ridiculous as Seiun Skies in my opinion, because there's no fast learner event and there's not a lot of crazy skills that you can get from her. You can get the typical good mouse stuff, however, like unyielding spirit and whatnot, so if you are going to be shoving her anywhere, it will usually be in the Mauseums. Right. Moving on, we have the Symboli Rudolf Stamina SSR. This is going to be a debuffer card. It has a lot of good stats in it, but it's primarily a debuffer card because it has a tremendous amount of debuffer hints, and it also gives you a 50% hint rate up. It has all the subdues that you could want, and also tether, so you might as well buy every single one of them. This card is one of the most important cards for Borrow in terms of making debuffers. Right. It also has initial stat ups for where for every type of card in your deck, you will get initial stats. And for stat output, this card has a 10% race bonus, which is good for Ment, and also 10% training effectiveness and 35 specialty priority. So stat lines wise, it does give you quite a lot of good stuff, but the main gimmick is just that, hey, I should just use this for my debuffer, that's about it. The Ghost skill is a 0.35 target speed and 0.35 stamina recovery, which can be used sometimes for certain horses if you just need a little bit more extra recovery, right? But otherwise, yeah, debuffer card, don't worry about it. For most F2P and low spenders, you can just borrow this card. For the whales, you can go ahead and pull this card if you want to. There really isn't such a big need because debuffer decks are not really very expensive in the first place. So ultimately, this card is very good for debuffer making, so just borrow it. You don't need to go and pull it. Moving on, we have the Sirius Symboli Wit SSR. This is a backliner focused card for the medium tracks. The unique effect is very interesting. The more you click the rainbow of this card, the more friendship bonus you will get, up to 5 times for a total of 15% extra friendship bonus. So you can get theoretically quite a lot of friendship bonus if you just keep clicking the rainbow. Right? In terms of stat output, this card also has a lot of mood effects, 60%. It also has speed bonus and wit bonus, and also a race bonus of 10%. So overall, the stat output, I would say, is pretty solid. But the main gimmick for this card is really the skills. It gives you late skills, medium skills, straightaway skills, right? It gives you playtimes. It has also an acceleration skill for backliners on the medium track that's going to be called Take the Chance, right? So it's just a bunch of very, very solid skills. The skill is very similar to On Your Left for the late surges. It's just that it's changed to medium instead. So end closers who use straightaway spurt can think about taking this Take the Chance also, if only no stopping me was not like the most important skill right now. Right, so this is just another +1 skill. Treat it like a On Your Left or a Head On, something like that. It's an additional excel that you can go and pick up if you have it, but like 90% of the time people will be hunting down for no stopping me anyway, because that one's usually the more powerful skill. Right, so this skill is definitely viable. This card is decent in terms of stat output, but it's definitely not a must pull. I would say only the whales can consider pulling this if they want to have more access to late surger stuff, another excel, more good speed skills. If they want that, they can go and get this. Otherwise, it's really not a highly important card. You can just get by just by using NSM instead, right? Yukino Bijin, for example, is going to give you that NSM skill, and that will be perfectly functional. It's just that Yukino Bijin, unfortunately, besides NSM, doesn't give you anything else, while Symboli Wit SSR does give you a lot of other decent skills, plus the random acceleration skill. So you can go ahead and choose this over that if you have made up your mind already, right? So in conclusion, these banners are not going to be particularly that important. The only major player here is really going to be Ballroom Seiun Sky. Ballroom Seiun Sky is going to be the big prize for a lot of people here because they are all frontrunner players and they just want to be super meta, right? Frontrunner is going to be very powerful for a very long time, with the exception of Exoguri, who gets to dominate a few of these medium CMs, right? So Ultimately, this Ballroom Seiun Sky will be relevant. If you have some of the parents already, you can consider skipping this parent, right? If you have Angry and Scheming already and your Kita-san Black, that means you have 2 of the XLs, one for long and one for everything else basically, right? And then if you just need to borrow Ballroom, then just borrow a Ballroom, right? So that will be 2 XLs for long, acceptable, acquired already, right? If you don't have Kita-san Black, you skipped it, then okay, what you need to do is maybe consider pulling this banner just so you can get +1 long CM acceleration access, right? Because for long CM, sometimes there's just no Angry and Scheming at all. You just have to use the straight line XLs, and the 2 that we will always use is Ballroom Seiun Sky and Kita-san Black every single time, right? So try to get 1 of Kita-san Black or 1 of Ballroom Seiyun, either or really, right? You get 1 of them, then you just inherit it to your favorite horse or your easier horse for your front runner. Like you just want to make V-Bourbon for long because you're too lazy, okay, no problem, right? You just do that and then you just inherit from Ballroom and then just borrow a Kita-san Black inherit, something like that, right? So that's pretty much what you can do here if you are considering whether you want to pull this important parent or not, because most of the time you will be wanting Kita-san Black and Ballroom at the same time. Sometimes it can be Kita-san Black and regular Seiun Sky, but most of the time for longs it's going to be the alternate version, right? So yeah, that's pretty much the final decision maker here for this banner here. And besides that, if you have any other questions, feel free to go and ask through the Ko-fi DMs, or you can join the Discord. The Discord has a lot of very smart people already, they are all experienced, so they will be able to give you some better advice. And then if you really need to ask me, you can also join me on the YouTube or Twitch live streams, and I'll try my best to answer your questions, right? So good luck on this banner if you're going to be pulling for it. I may be streaming some pulls from the viewers if they want it. Otherwise, I probably will not be pulling this banner because I just don't want to make any fun runners because I'm very lazy. Right, so that's it guys, thanks for watching and I shall see you guys next time. Bye bye.